Stay on the road. Keep clear to the moors.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the horror films that are intentionally ridiculous, over the top, and just plain bizarre.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Number 10, Freddy vs. Jason.
I had to search the bowels of hell, but I found someone who'll make 'em remember.
Two horror icons in the same movie? Sign us up. In 2003, both the villains from the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th franchises came together to haunt audiences everywhere. The storyline is centered around Freddy Krueger resurrecting Jason Voorhees and teaming up with him, only for the two to turn on one another.
You got what you wanted, you pulled Freddy out, now he's fighting Jason, come on, what more do you want?
It's shameless in its violence and stupidity, which is the perfect combination for a campy flick. It leans into the ridiculousness of each series, such as the constant fake-out deaths. While it wasn't a critical success, fans are able to look past that and embrace the pure absurdity.
God, you just don't get it.
Oh God, y'all two killers, we're not safe awake or asleep.
Number 9, Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers.
Oh, you should have heard him the day you got out.
That's too bad. Wait till he hears what's happened to you.
The events of this film follow the plot of the first, where a camper goes on a killing spree. In the 1988 sequel, the murderer from the first feature is back as a counselor, and she wreaks havoc on an entirely new set of kids. From submerging people in the outhouse toilet to strangling them with stringed instruments, the writers went out of their way to find new, creative deaths for her to enact.
What are you looking for? A gun?
No? A drill.
Her expressions and delivery only add to the comical vibe. The film also pokes fun at the other tropes found in the genre, like the obliviousness of the victims before their deaths. The self-awareness helped distinguish it as camp, rather than just tacky.
Don't talk like that, Uncle John. There's lots of good kids. We just have to weed out the bad.
Number 8, Leprechaun.
Where'd you go, me friends?
When utilising a monster for a scary movie, most studios go for vampires, zombies, or werewolves, certainly not leprechauns. However, one writer-director decided to take a chance on the Irish legend, giving us the cult film that is Leprechaun. Unlike others of the camp variety, this one was created as a genuine attempt at a thriller.
Yeah, he's dead.
Not a chance, me lad.
However, Warwick Davis was able to see the comedic elements in his role and hammed it up in turn. While the terror doesn't have the best execution, it only adds to its charm. The fact that it spawned several other sequels, including one where the leprechaun's in space, is proof that sometimes all you need to be successful is to stay committed to the bit, no matter how ridiculous.
Little girls shouldn't look for four-leaf clovers.
Number 7, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
You married, Major?
No.
Me either.
I wonder what the tomatoes are thinking about right now.
Some films that were panned upon release end up being viewed in a whole new light by a contemporary audience. While Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was made with the intention of parodying low-budget horror movies, it ended up being perceived as one. The story is self-explanatory. It's centered around produce coming to life and causing chaos.
The nation is in chaos. Can nothing stop this tomato onslaught?
At its release, it was criticized for not going far enough with its satire. Oddly enough, that accidental earnestness is what has helped it become so loved in modern eyes. The actors' commitment to looking horrified as they're attacked only adds to the hilarity. While it's undeniably cheesy, it makes it perfect for an ironic viewing with friends.
An effort which will become known as the Stop Tomato Program.
I see. It all looks quite extraordinary.
Number 6, Seed of Chucky.
I knew it! You're not real.
The Child's Play series has always been slightly tongue-in-cheek, but as it progressed, it fully accepted its comical premise and leaned into it. 2004's Seed of Chucky took it to a whole new level of absurdity. Following the events of the previous installment, Bride of Chucky, wherein the doll gets hitched, the sequel is all about the murderous toys reuniting with their child.
Oh, sweet face, come to mommy.
It's flippant in every aspect, from the celebrity references to the puppets' appearances. Plus, the idea of two dolls being able to have a child is absurd in the best way possible. While there's more of a focus on humour rather than fright, there's still plenty of kitschy brutality to enjoy.
Why do you kill?
Well, it's a hobby, really. It helps us relax.
Number 5. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
While some gaudy slasher movies lean into excessive barbarity, others opt for the complete opposite. In Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a crew of homicidal extraterrestrial clowns invade Earth and immediately go on a vicious massacre. The deaths are hysterical and stupid, such as when a guard is taken out with acid pies. While the lack of gore would normally be a deal breaker for most fans, the deaths being treated as jokes makes sense.
They took your wife away in a balloon? Well, you don't need a police pal, you need a psychiatrist.
Considering the villains are clowns, it tracks that they'd use seemingly harmless murder methods. The silliness adds to the overall quality of the picture, rather than taking it away. It hits the perfect balance between horror and humour, and is now celebrated as a camp classic.
It was a spaceship, and there was these things, killer clowns, and they shot popcorn at us. We barely got away.
Number 4. An American Werewolf in London.
How much do we owe you?
Nothing, lads. Go. God be with you.
This delightfully dark picture perfectly encapsulates one man's struggle with accepting that he's a werewolf. After the protagonist is changed, he must decide between ending his own life and becoming a savage beast. While it sounds dark on paper, the dramatic overacting and clever jokes prevent the plot from becoming too dreary.
You're not real. I don't be a putz, David. Come here.
Not only is the transformation scene an excellent display of body horror, it also gave the actor a chance to lean into the melodramatic energy. It was a new view on the werewolf myth, and is a standout amongst other narratives about the creature. While some critics at the time viewed the genre blending as immature, it's since aged into a shining example of a comedic yet thrilling film.
Are you all right now?
I don't know. I'll let you know the next full moon.
Number 3. Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead.
Stay back, boy. This calls for divine intervention.
Known as Brain Dead in New Zealand, this flick has gone on to become one of the most notable in the genre. After a young man's overbearing mother is zombified, he has to hunt her down before she infects the city. With an idea like that, you know you're in for a good time. There are moments of ironic cinematic greatness, such as the iconic scene where a priest takes on the undead with martial arts.
I kick ass for the Lord.
While not having as many traditional scares as other campy zombie flicks, such as the indulgently violent The Return of the Living Dead, it makes up for it in pure comedy. Dead Alive shows that even deadly spirits can be portrayed in a humorous light.
I know what to do. Cheese history. I'm in the comics. I will bodily dismember.
Number 2. Army of Darkness.
Hail to the king, baby.
Sam Raimi is the man behind several of the campiest films in the genre, the Evil Dead series. While Evil Dead 2 is tawdry enough on its own, the third installment, Army of Darkness, goes even further in camp. This time out, Ash Williams is trapped in medieval times and must find a way to escape while ridding the period of the Deadites. From Ash fighting off bite-sized replicas of himself to the deliberately cheesy one-liners, the movies become a fan favourite.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick!
The series cemented Bruce Campbell as a camp icon. This was solidified by another B-movie he starred in, Bubba Ho-Tep, where he played a geriatric Elvis tasked with fighting a mummy.
I think you know what I'm getting at, Mr. President. We're gonna kill us a mummy.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Rubber. If a possessed tyre making people's head explode isn't kitsch, then what is?
Ladies, gentlemen, the film you are about to see today is an homage to the no reason, that most powerful element of style.
They Live. This hilarious motion picture gave us one of the campiest lines in cinematic history.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
From dusk till dawn. Its unapologetic ferocity and black comedy have cemented it as a comedic classic.
I just rammed a wooden stake into my brother's chest because he turned into a vampire. Even though I don't believe in vampires. Aside from that unfortunate business, everything is hunky-dory.
Slither. While it was a box office flop, camp fans saw the potential in this creature feature.
It's okay, Grant. You're just sick is all. You're just sick. We're just here to take you to get some help. Right now.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It leans into the nonsensical aspects of the first one and embraces the excessive violence.
You got one choice, boy. Sex or the saw. Sex is, well, nobody knows. But the saw is family. It's family? Wait till Granddad hears about this.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
When thinking of over-the-top movies, this horror musical fusion immediately comes to mind. Its unapologetic sexuality and filth helped create one of the most iconic pieces of art in modern history. It's centered around a young couple meeting a mad scientist with the ability to create human life. Complete with impressive musical numbers, drag, aliens, and audience interaction, it was entirely unique to the genre.
Give yourself over to absolute pleasure.
Dr. Frank Infurta's ostentatious character embodies the ideals of camp perfectly, leading him to become a tribute to the term. While it was derided by critics and audiences at first, it quickly found a cult following that has remained loyal for decades. It's gone on to be an exemplary form of camp within the mainstream. Which horror movie do you think is the campiest? Let us know in the comments below.
A real bloody weirdo.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.